I'm Kim Ridings, and I graduated from Ferris the first time in 1980 with an associate's degree in architectural drafting. And then Ferris, I went out to work, and Ferris built the Applied Technology Center in Grand Rapids in about '91. And I went back and finished my construction management degree in 1993. Currently, I work with Eagle Management Company, and I do tenant fit-outs and material selections with tenants, and I do a lot of volunteering with Mary Free Bed Rehabilitation Hospital. And I'm on the Guild. Most recently, I was the chairman of the Architectural Oversight Committee for the $66 million expansion and renovation. I took drafting for 4 years in high school. And my senior year, my drafting teacher was a Ferris alumni from the program. And about mid-year, he came in with an application and said, "Here, you need to go to Ferris." And I did. I was only on campus full-time as a student for 2 years back in the late 70s. But what I remember are lots of hard work, some really good times, great hockey and great football. The professors at Ferris are amazing. I have been lucky enough to participate in the Industry Advisory Board for the Construction Management Department for a number of years, and it allows me to stay connected to those professors as well as the students. Ferris is training and shaping the new workforce every day with cutting-edge programs. Anything that we as alumni can do to promote Ferris or their students is important for the future. Ferris has a great heart. Everyone wants you to succeed at Ferris, and if you're willing to put in the work, they'll be there to support you. Also, a degree from Ferris is relevant to what the workforce needs today. A Bulldog is an amazing adventure. It's challenging, it's fulfilling. I take a great deal of pride in being a Bulldog, and I get a charge that my vehicles have Bulldog plates on them.
My name is Linda Muenberg. The first stint with Ferris was in 1968, and I chose the dental hygiene program, which was new at that time. I was from the second graduating class. I returned to Ferris in 1978 and completed my degree in allied health education. Actually, what I do now is I have a company called Professional Development Association Incorporated, which I've had for many years. In the last couple of years, I've been really gearing it down. I spend a lot of time on the beach because I bought a little beach house in Cape Canaveral, Florida. But primarily what I did through that consulting business was I'm a speaker for continuing education. I also do some keynote addresses for businesses dealing with communication, leadership, team building, and I write for a couple of professional journals. And children's stories and 3 collaborative books, so never a dull moment in my life. Well, it was back in the dark ages in the 60s. In fact, I just found my receipt from 1964 applying to Ferris, and I came on campus in 1966. The campus is full of memories. You know, as I walk across campus, I remember back in the 60s when I was a student and some of the memories that I had at that time. And then again, when I came back as an adjunct clinical instructor, and then the next year a full-time professor, and the memories I have with teaching and working with my students. So I'm still very close with many, many graduates, and you know, I've watched them grow up and become very accomplished professionals, so it's exciting. To be a Bulldog? To be a Bulldog's everything. You know? I love that I have 2 degrees from Ferris. You know, I've been here 2 different times. My whole family are Bulldogs. Rah, rah, go. In fact, my students, when they see me, my former students, they'll say, "Go Bulldogs," because I always said that when I first met them. So they know me as Go Bulldogs. It's overwhelming. You know, it was one of my former students that sent in the nomination, and she said, "You have done so much. You are such an incredible ambassador, you know, that you really are deserving of this award." So I always thought people that got this award were people that gave lots of money, you know, every year. I'm not one of those, but as far as being an ambassador, my ambassador hat is on all the time. And if people haven't heard of this school, they hear about it when they meet me.
name is Kathy Palicki, and I am currently the Vice President and Chief Pharmacist at Beaumont Health in southeastern Michigan. I graduated from Ferris State College at the time in 1985 from the School of Pharmacy. Since that time, upon graduation, I completed a residency in hospital pharmacy in the southeastern area, and then began my leadership journey through several different health systems, from a manager to a director, and more recently as the chief pharmacist across an 8-hospital health system. And I'm responsible for pharmacy services across the organization. Anything related to medication or pharmacy really is my responsibility. In addition to that, I was very interested in and committed to being involved in my profession of pharmacy. So I became, quite early on, I became involved in a regional association for health system pharmacy, Southeastern Michigan Society of Health System Pharmacy, and through that I became actively involved in the Michigan Pharmacist Association and the Michigan Society of Health System Pharmacists, and that one thing leads to another. That led to my involvement at a national level, and I am overwhelmed but very pleased to say that I was just elected, or just inaugurated actually, as president of our national association, the American Society of Health System Pharmacists. We're a 50,000 member pharmacist organization that represents pharmacists across the United States and actually globally also. I had a wonderful experience at Ferris during the years that I was there completing my pharmacy degree, and even actually afterwards connecting with fellow Ferris grads. I found that, it was a smaller, it was a community feel, and the professors were very invested in your success and your career path as an individual, and that's what I'm most prideful of, is that, as well as the great accomplishments that many of our Ferris grads have done in pharmacy at the state and the national level, and they're true leaders in pharmacy. So I feel I have a lot of pride in the fact that I'm amongst many other well-recognized pharmacy leaders across the state and across the nation. I actually made several connections while I was at Ferris. One most notable is my husband, who was a fellow pharmacy student, so I can't forget to mention him and our relationship that started at Ferris. Well, it's a true honor, and I was actually a little overwhelmed when I received the phone call, not quite expecting it. Ferris, as I indicated before, has a long history of pharmacy leaders at the state and national level, so to be recognized with such an honor was extremely exciting. It was very exciting and surprising. So I just, Ferris has always been near and dear to my heart, so this award is definitely a shining moment in my career.
My name is Pam Curtis. I was a 1986 graduate of the Social Services program, which is now the Social Work program at Ferris. And it was back when Ferris was still a college and not a university, so I'm really dating myself. My career path, Ferris has a great social work program, and part of what they do is they allow internships, and so I had a couple opportunities. I thought I wanted to work with kids, and so at that time they had a track that was called Children, Youth, and Delinquency, and I was in that track, but I wanted a broader spectrum of what was available, and so I did one of my internships at the Council on Aging in Big Rapids. And that's kind of where my love for older adults came. And I finished the program in that same track, but my career has just been completely with older adults ever since. I moved out to Arizona for a couple of years, and I was a nursing home social worker out there. And then I came back and did case coordination, where I went out in the homes for a Council on Aging on the west side of Michigan. And then ended up at Senior Resources as a program manager back when we were quite a bit smaller. We had 7 staff and a $2 million budget. And I was a contract manager, so we put money back out into the community to serve older adults, and we coordinate care, and we are a planning organization, and I handled those contracts. And then I kind of worked my way up And I've been here, it'll be 30 years this coming January. And if you had told me when I started that I was going to be here 30 years later, I would have laughed in your face. I figured, 5-year plan or something, but it's kept, my job has changed over the years, and the agency has just grown tremendously. We're now a $25 million organization. We have over 100 staff. And the growth and the development, and that I just bought completely in, and I love it. I can't imagine being anywhere else. So, and Ferris framed me well for it. Oh my gosh, my pride. I don't think I could have asked for a better education. I was so well grounded and so prepared to go out and start my career when I left. Those first opportunities is working social work in the home and in the nursing home, and then out in the community. All the skill sets were there. It really provided me everything I needed, so I really appreciated that. And then I got that feedback from the places that employed me as well. So the program was outstanding. I was so honored when I was asked to be on the School Social Work Advisory Board, and then to be nominated and receiving this award it is a humbling experience. I couldn't believe. The student that sat in the Star Building, taking social work classes and whatnot, would never have expected to be nominated for this award this many years later. And it's just truly a humbling experience.